Tomorrow, the high near 80. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds, the high 82. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is sunny and 63 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis at 9:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show.
Check it out. St. Louis, Mound City, we are going to have a great day today
On 104.1 FM.
Let's take it from the top.
KMOX.
Let's go. Let's have a day. It is Tuesday.
Guess what else it is?
August 26th. What?
Second day in a row I've worn a sweater.
Isn't this
Sweater
wonderful?
weather, baby.
Man, if it's just like this for that, I said this yesterday, but if it stays about like this, doesn't get higher than like 82 for the rest of the summer, I will be the happiest little boy that's ever been. However, we know that's not going to happen. We know it's going to be October 15th and 105.
Well,
we know that's going to happen.
We don't know. We can
Speculate. It will happen. I promise you. I don't have that good of luck. It is beautiful, though.
Dude,
it is
don't
beautiful.
Be one of those people.
I'm going to be real sad sack today when the weather gets hot.
This is just my luck.
Just my luck.
As if this day couldn't get any worse.
Oh, it could get a whole lot worse. You get a whole lot worse.
But for the next 3 hours.
You could be Lutz. Poor Lutz. 314-436-7900. We will, in fact, we're gonna cover that today as well. Lutz Fan and Steel. He has been let go by City SC. We got the breaking news yesterday. Huge breaking news day on a Monday. Lots of stuff happening. So, thank you for being with us. 314-436-7900. Join us. You can leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. You know how to do that. Super simple. Watch us. Do you want to see our faces? You can on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We are on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
In Florissant yesterday, while this show was going on, we got news of the explosion, a home explosion that took place in Florissant. The cause of that explosion still unclear as investigators continue to look into it.
Yeah, that was stunning.
Unbelievable.
Well, I do have some good news. It is Taco Tuesday,
Man,
baby.
I love Taco Tuesday.
And you may think, okay, so what? It's Tuesday. It's always Taco Tuesday. No, this is a special one because none other than Chris Ranji and I will be at Session Taco in the Central West End.
The newly reopened Session Taco.
Today, from 12:30 to 1:30. From 12:30 to 1:30 today, Tuesday. We'll be at Session Taco in the Central West End, and we are feeling generous. So we are going to pay for $15 per person to get lunch until our money runs out. We don't have a ton of money, just as a heads up.
Well, as a part of 100 Acts of Kindness, this is Jerry Kelly's kindness.
Oh,
Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning
Yes.
and Electrical and Plumbing. They have been kind enough to do this.
They're buying the tacos.
They're buying the tacos.
We're not buying the tacos.
Yeah. So
they're buying the tacos.
We hope you come see us today. Starting at 12:30, we'll be there for about an hour. Also, the Cardinals with a walk-off win yesterday, and my God, there were all kinds of fireworks that game yesterday.
We're not talking about the win. That's not the biggest news here.
Yeah, yesterday was really something at Busch Stadium. So there was the walk-off win, which was awesome. Alec Burleson hit the walk-off home run. Cool. After giving up the lead in the 9th inning, he walks it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. But I don't know that there's been a more eventful game this season because there was that. There was the fact that they had the lowest attendance in the history of the stadium. And Wilson Contreras, well, he got let go early.
And Wilson's now throwing stuff out of the Cardinals' dugout, and that is not a good idea. There is bubble gum all over the field right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Well, first of all, the call from John Rooney and Ricky Horton painting the picture was brilliant. I had it in my head. Not going to lie, when he said there's bubble gum all over the field, for some reason I pictured it chewed bubble gum.
Yeah,
But
they
it
have a
wasn't.
collection of chewed bubble gum in the dugout, and they just
which
throw it on the
didn't
field.
make sense. I was wondering, did he spit out his bubble gum on the field? But it was the high chew. It was a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket of high chew, basically.
Love high chew.
Yeah.
So yesterday, in case you did not see it, there was a moment where Wilson objected to a strike 3 call. It was a good pitch. he got a little too upset, but he was wrong. It was a strike. And we don't know what actually transpired. He said that he told the umpire to call it both ways. And I suppose, from what I can tell, it looks like he did not know that he had been ejected right away and then found out, and then he flipped it. He absolutely lost his mind.
Wondering what was said in that moment when he went from being pretty heated to
he was livid.
Yeah. I mean, he was so upset. And you mentioned that game last night, probably the most fireworks, one of the more exciting games for various reasons, but it was also the lowest attendance in the history of Busch Stadium 3, 17,675. It's the first time they've ever sold under 20,000 tickets.
That's nuts.
Now, I've got a couple thoughts on this whole issue with Wilson Contreras, him being thrown out, the nature of his fit of anger that he had, fit of frustration. Could it be that he was also projecting a season-long frustration in a moment like that? Doesn't that happen with athletes?
Absolutely.
And
and
just
you know
you're
what?
like everything's going wrong, and you're just so angry that it wasn't about that pitch. It wasn't like things were going swimmingly, and then he lost it on that pitch.
Here's what I will say about Contreras, who does tend to get real hot really quick. If he's not on your team, it's the kind of thing that would irritate you. I love it. I love the fact he's there. I love the fact that he's on the team, because I think every team could use a personality like that. And Yachty used to get real hot real quick too. You know, that was somebody else who would do that. Now for Contreras, I love knowing, and I do think this is part of it. I'm not inside his head. I don't really know. But I believe that part of what happened last night, part of him losing his crap, is in part because of the season and the way it's gone. And I love knowing that. I love knowing that my guys are not happy with losing. So, that they have not settled into this routine or become comfortable with the idea of being substandard, because they're an under 500 team, right? And this is not, look, I know that we knew they were going to be a transitional team moving ahead to a new president of baseball operations. This is going to be a newer organization starting next year. John Mozeliak stepping down. We don't know if Oliver Marmol's going to be back as manager, but I think that he will be. So there was a low expectation with them nationally. People who looked at the Cardinals before the season started, it was a low expectation season. Not if you're the players, though.
Yeah.
If you're the guys on the field, if you're the coaches in the dugout, if you're the manager, you're trying to win every night. And I want to know that my players on my team are pissed that it's not going well for them.
Yeah. And
I want that.
And I think, too, you have to, as a player, even now, until you're mathematically eliminated, you have to either believe that you can make a run or you lie to yourself, because that's what you do. Any athlete has lied to themselves before. I mean, I've done it in races. I know I'm not a professional athlete, but you have to get your mind in that zone. You can't give up. You can't say, well, we're not going to make it anyway, or the odds are low. You have to believe it. But deep down, there's also that reality of this has been a rough season. There's an enormous amount of frustration. There's probably frustration is that the Cardinals would have had a chance for a wild card if they hadn't thrown series away to teams like the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a lot of frustration. And as Ricky Horton said in that clip, when he started throwing the bubble gum on the field, you can't do that. You can't throw things out of the dugout on the field. And I understand that it's a bad look. You definitely don't want to see it every game, because I think that implies a clubhouse that's out of control. If every game your guys are losing it on the field, It's a bad look. But in that moment, and I could be totally wrong, and maybe the Cardinals are mad that he got so heated, but in that moment, it was so human, so visceral, such a real reaction that I felt almost relief to see a player just let out that frustration that's been building all season. Because I get it. When you're a coach and you're a player and you're being interrogated by the media, you have to give the right answers. You have to say all the canned, optimistic responses for the most part. I know Ali can be very honest, right? Ali will talk pretty honestly, like when you asked him about the expansion of Major League Baseball and he said he's just trying to get Walker to hit, right? that was a great real response.
Oliver Marmol on the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at 12. So this is a perfect day for him to be on the show after everything that happened yesterday because it was a pretty eventful day. So I'd love to, and I'm going to miss it.
And you're going to miss it, but
that's okay because we're going to be giving away tacos.
Because of Jerry Kelly.
On
Jerry Kelly's dime. But that's why I felt okay last night, because it almost felt like you let off some of the steam as a fan vicariously through Wilson Contreras, just absolutely losing it. He'll pull himself together. He'll get back to business. Yeah. He was fine during the press conference. I don't know. I didn't mind at all seeing just a player be human. And maybe there's some fans who say, oh, that's not the Cardinal way, or, that's unbecoming. And you know what? It probably is unbecoming. I'm probably wrong on this, but I didn't mind it.
No,
I liked to see the passion.
Now, I like to see the passion. I would like to see him not throw his bat at one of his own coaches.
Yeah, that was
an accident. He was throwing the bat back toward the plate, and Brant Brown was just standing there and took it, looked like in the face. So don't do that. Don't do that. But I do appreciate the passion from him, even though he was wrong in the moment on the strike call. It was a strike.
Yeah.
At worst, it was borderline. But if you go back and look at the replay, he was wrong.
But we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
314-436-7900.
Do you love that passion? Let us know what you think, as Amy said. You can also leave a voice message on the Odyssey app. Robert Walsh, who is watching us on YouTube, says it is Jerry Kelly heating, cooling, electrical, plumbing, and ghost exorcism. Yes, they are dipping into everything.
Well, because we had said Jerry Kelly heating, air conditioning, electrical, and plumbing. We thought, what other service could we add? Landscaping, window washing. Today, it's Jerry Kelly heating, air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, and tacos.
It is tacos today.
Yeah.
Come see us at Session Taco. You got a short window, too. We could run out very, very quickly. So if you show up and you're like, where are the free tacos? You're late, pal. Sorry. Yeah. 12:30 to 1:30, we expect to be there today.
And again, it's the whole while supplies last.
Yep.
So while the money lasts.
It's never been truer.
Oh, it's the truest it's ever been.
That's right.
And the supplies are dollar bills.
So on the show today, we've got a lot happening. There's a new project. It's called Memory Loss, and it is a part of a new documentary about Hurricane Katrina, which was 20 years ago this week. And a St. Louis photographer did a really cool project. And Stan Strembicki will be in studio to talk about that with us. We've got Dave Simons on the show. We'll talk MLS after Lutz Pfannenstiel has been let go by City SC. And Efren Ramirez, Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite, will be on the show today. He is part of Napoleon Dynamite Live, October 9th at the Factory. So we'll talk to Efren Ramirez today. That is at 11:30 on the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Energy security isn't a slogan, it's a necessity. American-made energy means we call the shots instead of depending on foreign sources to fill our tanks. Made here in America, ethanol keeps gas prices lower at the pump. It's reliable, creates jobs, and strengthens farming communities. Tell Congress to support nationwide year-round access to E15, a lower-cost fuel made with 15% ethanol, because American-made energy should come first. Paid for by the Renewable Fuels Association.
This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hey there, cats and kittens. It's Brian from The Commercial Break, the mediocre comedy podcast where my best friend Chrissy and I attempt to make sense of the world. We talk about the absurd, the ridiculous, and the stuff no one asked for, like internet weirdos, pickup artists, and why everyone is obsessed with crystals and colonics. It's all got to stop. The show is free, it's frequent, and it's probably not for everyone. You can go to tcbpodcast.com, subscribe at youtube.com/The Commercial Break, or check out the show wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you on the next Commercial Break, and best to you.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
You all remember me mentioning my wife's thermostat being broke because of the, the change of women evidently have to go through, which is horrible. People called me asking me how did she feel about me sharing her insanity. I did notice seeing her looking through a fork at me. So, hey, guys, if your wife, your girlfriend, your better half is looking through a fork at you, look it up. Why? You're going to be shocked. But she's still happy that she's got air conditioning. So you need help, you need pricing, somebody told you you need new equipment. Remember, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. But guys, look up wives looking through forks at husband. You better change your program around. God bless.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin with a haboob.
That was this morning. There was a haboob, a big haboob
in Arizona.
I'm telling you what, if you guys are laughing at the haboob, you need to Google the haboob in Arizona because it is apocalyptic. Just a brown, a giant cloud, like gray-brown cloud. That's
a haboob.
Yes, that's rolling over the city. Pretty intimidating.
It looks like, it kind of looks like War of the Worlds or Independence Day when the big motherships are
You know what? That's
through.
exactly what it looks like. It looks like a dusty mothership.
So I, as you know, famously, everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
That I outran a haboob.
He did outrun
about
a haboob.
10 years ago
Yeah.
in Arizona, in Phoenix. They always happen in Phoenix, it feels like.
I asked him, is this what it looked like? Because again, before you mock,
It does look like Independence
it's
Day.
a dusty mothership. It's insane. I would be terrified. And it also looks like once it rolls over the town that it would get through any cracks, windows, doors.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So apparently,
Did you get the haboob in your cracks?
I did not get into my cracks.
Oh.
No. I did see, I did also hear, I guess, that they are expecting the possibility of more haboobs in Phoenix this week. I guess the weather is conducive to haboobs. So
How many haboobs?
I don't know.
Are
but-
all haboobs big?
No, they're different size haboobs, like anywhere else. It's true. So what now? Why do you do this?
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
You're being a child.
You're the one.
I
No,
didn't do anything.
Listen, here's the thing. You're the only one in this room who's experienced a haboob. You outran the haboob. You saw the haboob.
Yeah.
Now you're reporting there are more haboobs on the way.
Possibly.
And I asked you about the size of the haboobs because the one that we saw yesterday that CBS reported was
Mm-hmm.
massive.
Huge.
And I'm telling you, it was an Independence Day mothership. Okay.
So, and here's the thing about it. What's interesting about haboobs is they can predict it. They can, like any meteorologist, they can project it. They could say, hey, we're probably going to have one today. And I remember I was working and I was like, I need to get out of here before the haboob shows up. So I had to outrun it. I was worried about getting back to my hotel before the haboob arrived. I didn't want to drive through it.
Well, traffic would have to stop because visibility would be zero. Okay, question though, for real. How long did the haboob last? Does it roll through and pass through? It just passes?
Yeah, it just passes and, it's a little cloudy for a while.
How dense is the haboob?
I don't, Amy.
What?
I don't know.
Were you in your hotel?
It's pretty dense. Yeah, I didn't go out to look at it.
Oh.
Because I didn't want I didn't want it to get in my cracks, Oh! So, all right, stop.
It chafes.
Come on.
It would chafe.
What happens? Oh, come on. What's the matter with you? There was a texter from early in the show. I guess we're still early. But he says, could you please give a haboob update? And then said, I knew it. When I first heard of the newest haboob, I knew you'd mention it. Are we that predictable? Are we not surprising or delighting?
Okay, first of all, you know what? I think it would be unreasonable not to bring up the haboob.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if I went to the moon and then there was a story about going to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be weird if I didn't say that I had been to the moon?
That you've had that experience.
That I've had that experience.
Yes.
I sat there. I talked about the story of going to this person going to the moon. And I never once mentioned that I was on the moon. I mean, I would probably get in trouble from my boss. He would say, Amy, tell the people you were on the moon.
Right.
So
share about your life.
Yes. And that's the haboob is your moon.
Let me tell you something about that. Can you imagine having been to the moon and just never talking about it with anybody? Like you have this trump card of a story that you can, anybody says, oh, I went to this place. Oh, did you? I went to the moon. And you just never say anything.
I'll tell you what,
about
though,
it.
if I were at like an event or a party and I was with someone who was just insufferable, a name dropper and a braggart.
Yeah, a braggart.
Yeah. And someone who is just really selling themselves with how great they are. Especially, I would hope that they would make fun of me a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you just hold it back. You wait for the right moment to throw out that you've been to the moon.
Yeah.
I think that would be the ultimate trump card.
I think that you could not do anything cooler. I'm not sure there's an activity that you could
I can't remember the commercial. I don't know if it was soda, but there was a Super Bowl commercial where a woman is drowning in the ocean and a super hot lifeguard, he's absolutely ripped, runs into the ocean, punches a shark, saves the girl, brings her back,
Punches a shark.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe I made that up. But brings the girl back, mouth to mouth, saves her life. And she looks at him and she's about to say, my hero, but she gets distracted because there's an astronaut walking towards them. And it's like nothing beats being an astronaut.
See, it's the ultimate trump card.
Which is such a great commercial, by the way, that she got distracted from this lifeguard who saved her because an astronaut was just walking down the beach in his full astronaut outfit.
Regarding the Wilson Contreras ejection from yesterday, a message into the show at 314-436-7900 says, I usually like Contreras, but last night he was an example of what not to do. He did everything we teach our kids and grandkids to not do. It's a bad look. And I can see that. I don't agree with it because it's sports and there's supposed to be passion. I just think in the moment he happened to be wrong. Unless the umpire said something to him that was way out of line, which I doubt. Umpires, I can leave them. I would love for there to be something different than umpires, like robot umpires. But
the same robots in the outfits.
Yes, because I think a lot of times they want to get involved. They want to have an argument. They want to throw somebody out. They think people are there to see them. I think that happens more than it should. However, I do think that they're more. I don't think they're going to say something that would
get you that heated.
Cross the line.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, maybe they can sometimes. So I doubt that's what happened last night. I think Contreras probably found out he was ejected and then flipped his mind.
It
and
looked
didn't
like he had
realize
said,
it
like
was.
the umpire had said something personal about his mom. Like that's how you would respond.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the umpire would do that. Or
No,
if he did, I feel like Contreras would have said,
Yeah.
well, I lost my mind because he said this super inappropriate thing.
Yeah.
But,
so I doubt that happened.
Yeah. But that's why I feel like I'm probably wrong with not being bothered by his show of emotion. But it did feel like a little bit of relief from the pressure cooker of disappointment that's been this season. But I do want to note, too, as we go to break, if you need to counteract your disappointment because of Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical and Plumbing, we're celebrating Taco Tuesday at Session Taco today.
Central West End.
Central
on Euclid.
West End, the brand newly refurbished one. 12:30 to 1:30. We're paying for $15 per person while money lasts.
Yeah, we could run out pretty quickly, so you better get there.
Yeah.
And even if you do show up and we have run out of cash because that Jerry Kelly gave to us, just have lunch in a
Have a
good
taco.
spot. Yeah, in a good spot. It's such a good place, and we're after 3 years of being closed after the fire. At least a couple of years after closing because of that fire, they're finally back. Message into the show says the Marconi Award for radio reporting on the Haboob goes to.
Is it us?
It's got to be us.
Kristen Amy.
That's exactly right.
Your Haboob source.
All right, so this is a very cool project. A local photographer has a project called Memory Loss, and it is featured in the new documentary on Netflix about Hurricane Katrina. It's called Katrina, Come Hell and High Water. And Stan Strimbicki, this is really cool, so we hope you stick around for this. And Stan will be in studio to talk about his project next on KMOX.
Emergency evacuation
Breaking
order.
news that earns national recognition doesn't happen by chance. It's driven by the relentless focus, dedication, and commitment of a trusted newsroom.
Floodwaters are closing
Recently
roads
honored with the National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news. The KMOX News to be the vital source of information for our region.
Shelter in place.
Timely reporting every day and rising to the moment when major stories unfold. 104.1 FM KMOX. The voice of St. Louis.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
It is 61 degrees and sunny in St. Louis. The AccuWeather Real Feel is 71. The high today will be 79. The Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company brings you the weather. PennMutual.com/STL. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 178-year young mutual company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Hello, fellow Missourians. This is your Congressman Bob Onder. My top priority is serving you. Whether you need help with a VA claim, Social Security, Medicare, or any other federal issue, my team and I are here to cut through the red tape and give you answers. In the last 6 months alone, we have returned over $1 million to taxpayers. Call my office or visit my website, onder.house.gov, to learn more. Missouri is my home, and I'm honored to serve you in D.C.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Missouri, get ready! DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. Later this football season, you'll be able to bet same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more right here in Missouri. Whether you're backing Kansas City to dominate on Sundays or sweating your basketball picks, DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you want to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when we go live in Missouri, you'll be betting from home with the top-rated sportsbook trusted by millions. Safe, secure, and ready to deliver the action like never before. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX now to gear up for launch in Missouri. Be the first in line for exclusive promos and can't-miss offers. That's code KMOX in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hurricane Katrina is now a Category 5 storm.
They built the levee system now to withstand a Category 3.
We didn't have any food, any water.
20 years ago this week, one of the worst weather events in the history of the country happened. That was Hurricane Katrina. There is a new Netflix documentary coming out tomorrow, and it is called Katrina, Come Hell and High Water. And featured in the documentary is a local photographer here from St. Louis, Stan Strembicki, whose project called Memory Loss is featured in that documentary. And we are very happy to have Stan in studio with us. Stan, we appreciate you coming in. Thank you for taking the time.
Great. Thanks for having me in to talk about the work.
Okay, so you went down there in the aftermath of the storm, and what you did is very cool. So tell people what you did.
Well, first of all, I had a long history with New Orleans. I first went down in 1984. I've photographed all the Mardi Gras since 1990. I have close friends that live down there. And actually, when Katrina happened, we had some dear friends that had to evacuate because they couldn't live in their home, and they lived with us for a month. So 30 days after the storm, my friend who had evacuated to our house said, I need to go down and see what's left in my house. And I decided to go down and help him out as best I could. And of course, I always have my gear with me. And I was just blown away by what I saw. The level of devastation was, was overwhelming. It kind of took your breath away. And I didn't want to be part of the news cycle, that daily news thing. And I'm not a photojournalist, but I felt as an artist that this was something that I wanted to try to figure out in my own head. So I decided I'd take a year and I would go down there every month and I would try to make sense of it.
And Stan, you mentioned the devastation, and you saw it very intimately and very much in the immediate aftermath of the storm. You got in your car, I believe, and put a magnetic sticker on the car that said Disaster Assessment Relief Team.
Well, at that point, the city was closed. I mean, if you think about it, we've never really emptied out a city of almost 750,000 people, right? We told everyone, you got to get out. There's no electricity. The water was contaminated. The drinking water was contaminated. There was no place to stay. The only thing that was really working were the gas lines. And I knew I couldn't get into the city, but I had a friend who said, you know, they're letting some people in. So I borrowed a white pickup truck from my brother. I got a magnetic sign and figured, well, you know, I'm a good talker. I can talk my way into a lot of things. And you got to the off-ramp off the interstate, and the police saw the sign and they waved me on in. And once you were in the city, it was like just crazy because there are National Guard with machine guns running around everywhere. The city's emptied out. The traffic lights don't work. Nothing works. Everything's closed. And it was a crazy, crazy scene.
And so what you found is, and what inspired you to do this? Because there were photos that you would find partially destroyed, a lot of them from homes that would find their way out into the streets. And you took photos of those, and that's part of your project.
Well, every artist has rules, right? Rules that kind of guide your work. And I had rules. I mean, one of my rules was that I didn't want to be part of the nightly news cycle. I didn't want to go up to people and say, hey, your house was destroyed. Could I take your picture in front of your destroyed house? I felt that was a little exploitive. I had a rule that I wouldn't go into personal residences. I had another rule that if it was a place I could have gone into before the storm, I felt that I could go into it. Churches, schools, businesses, things like that. You know, I had rules like that. A rule I wouldn't take anything from the site. And there were people that were doing that kind of stuff. So I'm walking around the neighborhoods, and in particular, the lower Ninth Ward, which got the worst of it because the whole flood wall collapsed. And there was a tsunami of water just washed through the neighborhood and destroyed the houses. And it looked like a tornado because it just chewed up these little wood houses and scattered the possessions all over the place. So you're walking around and you're seeing crazy stuff, people's clothing, objects from their household, trophies, record collections, anything that you would have in your house was just scattered everywhere. Because when the wall broke, the levee wall broke, people couldn't take anything. You know, they could just get out with their lives. And as I'm walking around, I start noticing photo albums and scrapbooks. And as a photographer, I know that everyone understands the language of the snapshot. We all have snapshot books, right? You look at a snapshot of someone's high school graduation and you understand that because we all have those pictures. You look at a wedding album, you know everyone has the same kind of wedding album, right? And all those, we go on vacation, our kids are growing up, all those things. The interesting thing about snapshots is that they're so unique to our lives. My brother-in-law is a retired fire department battalion chief back in Rhode Island. And he was looking at the work that I was doing. And he said, you know, Stan, is an interesting thing about snapshots. When we're doing an arson investigation, one of the first things we look at, do we find a photo album in the house? Because people will burn down their whole house, and the only thing they'll take out of their house is the photo albums, because it's the only thing in your life that you can't replace.
Yeah.
Right? You can replace pretty much everything else in your house except for that. So it's a very personal kind of thing. So I'm seeing these photo albums just everywhere, you know, kind of scattered around, wedding albums. And I decide that they would stand for the people in that neighborhood. They would become, I don't know, representative of the people who lost kind of everything. And the curious thing about the pictures that I found was because the lower Ninth Ward was underwater for 30 days, about 30 days, that the photo albums were all encroached with water and had started to destroy the images in them. And it gave them kind of a perversely painterly quality. So I would photograph them where I found them. I wouldn't take them or I wouldn't move them. And then I would decide I'll figure them out later on. And because I believe in that as an artist, I believe in something we call the process. And the process is that you don't have an idea really what you're going to do, but you look at the work and you figure it out as you go along.
Stan, you talked about, your personal rules and how it was quite different than a lot of the photojournalists' work, which can be necessary too, right? To capture the humans and what they've lost and so forth. But you said you're not going to take a picture of people in front of their ruined homes, not going to private spaces. And with that, did you ever have conflict within yourself during your work, either because you felt like you established too restrictive rules for yourself or because the grief was overwhelming?
Well, you do get overwhelmed by the whole thing because, it's not just one small neighborhood. Mm-hmm. It's the whole city. And that can be emotionally overwhelming too. I'd come back after spending 3 or 4 days down there and you'd be exhausted mentally. As a matter of fact, I spent 15 years doing this project. After 15 years, I said, I can't do this anymore. For that matter, when the tornado came through St. Louis, it actually came very close to my house in U City, like a quarter mile away. So I was very curious about what was going on, like a lot of us. And I took a drive through Forest Park, and then I went up to the north side. And somebody said, "Aren't you interested in photographing on the north side?" And I said, "No, I can't do it again." It was just too emotionally hard to do. But I think as an artist, it's different from being a journalist in that you can kind of calibrate what your response is because you're looking to make connections not only with the things you're seeing and how they relate to the people in the neighborhood, but you're also kind of dealing with your own kind of feelings and responses to everything you see.
Have you been able to see the documentary ahead of time?
No, I have not.
Okay, so you are featured in it. It comes out tomorrow. It's called Katrina, Come Hell and High Water. Are you interviewed in it? I know they're showing your work.
They didn't interview me per se, and it actually happened in a really kind of peculiar way. They contacted me in October. They said, "We'd heard you'd done a lot of work down there." I had 6 different portfolios came out of my work in Katrina over the 15 years. And I sent them some links to my work. I have a pretty big online presence for the work. And I didn't hear anything from them until I guess it was the middle of July. And they said, "We picked out 8 of them. What's your licensing fee?" And I said, "Oh, that's a nice surprise."
And just to ask you, since you did do this project for 15 years, were you struck by progress, lack of progress in that area?
Well, the sad thing is that if the 3 of us were to go down to New Orleans this weekend, why not? And we were to go to the French Quarter, we would go into the Garden District, we would see that things are pretty much as they were. Things haven't changed that much. But you go out into some of the neighborhoods, and in particular the lower Ninth Ward, which was historically a very poor African-American neighborhood, not unlike the North Side. And I would say only 50% of the people came back. Another project I did down there involved the churches. I found all these in the lower Ninth Ward. I found these small evangelical African-American churches. And I said, I got this great idea. I'm going to go and photograph these ruined churches. And then I'm going to come back and they're going to be rebuilt. And I'm going to photograph a smiling congregation on the front steps. That'll be this great thing I'll do. Because I was taken at how many that I found. They're not very big churches, not like cathedrals. And they typically hold, 20, 50 people. And I photographed 42 of these little churches, and of the 42 churches, only 17 rebuilt. And that gives you some indication of how not everyone came back. And that was due to a great extent because of the economics of what happened to people down there. As an example, I tell people that, if you have a minimum wage or a very low paying job, FEMA comes in, they scoop you up in a bus, they move you to Houston, they move you to wherever. They give you some startup money, they give you an apartment to stay, and maybe the job you had was kind of a minimum wage job. Well, you probably found another minimum wage job and you're kind of set up in Houston. But for you to leave that, move back to New Orleans, come up with first and last, get yourself established in a new place. It's really hard to do.
Yeah. So to see the work is strimbicki.com. Is that the best place to go?
You can see a lot of it there.
Okay.
Yes. And actually, if you just, because of the presence I have, if you Google Stan Strimbicki, Katrina photography, Google usually connects up there pretty well.
Strimbicki is Strembicki. Stan Strimbicki is our guest today. Some of these photos are really something else, and it's cool that you came in to talk with us about it. The documentary is coming out tomorrow. It's called Katrina, Come Hell and High Water. It is out on Netflix again tomorrow. Stan's project is part of it. His project is called Memory Loss. And Stan, we appreciate you coming in today. Thank you for talking with us about what you did.
Yeah, and if I could have a brief moment of shameless self kind of promotion.
Oh, that's what this is all about. Yeah,
that's what we're here for. Yeah.
Next month, I'm having an opening at the Bruno David Gallery in Clayton. Be September 13th. It's a different body of work, but if you're in the area, please stop by the gallery.
Stan Strimbicki, also Professor Emeritus at Washington University. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks so much.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are visiting with Dr. Premal Thacker.
And we're very fortunate at Washington University School of Medicine and Siteman to have the only endometrial cancer spore. So we are actually doing a $15 million grant that is housed here under Dr. Much to actually evaluate uterine cancer.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, please visit siteman.wustl.edu.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club.
Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Flashback to 1985 when the hair was big, the colors were bright, and the Cards were the National League champs. Don't miss 80s night at Busch Stadium on Friday, September 5th. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home a throwback 1985 National League champs crew neck sweatshirt. Plus, jam out to your favorite 80s hits at a pregame concert by Decade of Decadence. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme.
This is Willie McGee, St. Louis Cardinals for the loop.
Hola amigos, this is Polo Asensio, Spanish broadcaster for your Cardenales, inviting you to Fiesta Cardenales presented by State Farm on September 7th. With a theme ticket, fans will take home a lightweight Cardenales hooded pullover. Don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. A portion of each ticket sold will benefit the Hispanic Education, Cultural, and Scholarship Foundation. For tickets or details, visit cardinals.com/fiesta.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Ranj, have you been to Six Flags lately?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, then part of this is on you. Six Flags investors are threatening to sue after...
People for not coming?
To sue people for not coming.
Oh.
That's right. They're suing the amusement park after Six Flags reported a stunning $100 million quarterly loss, leading some to question whether the company could have disclosed its financial troubles earlier.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So 2 LA-based firms have actually launched separate investigations into Six Flags Entertainment Corporation for possible securities fraud. They're looking into whether Six Flags deliberately misled shareholders before dropping the devastating second quarter results.
That's not good. Uh-oh. Six Flags better be not in trouble.
Six Flags stock has fallen more than 45% year to date.
Speaking of falling stock, Amy, well, it happened in the immediate aftermath of everybody thinking they've gone woke. But Cracker Barrel, we talked about the sign.
Yeah.
They changed the sign. They changed the interior of their stores.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Well, the president, Donald Trump, has... President Donald Trump has gone to Truth Social.
Okay.
And he says... Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo, admit a mistake based on customer response, the ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before. They got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right. Very tricky to do, but a great opportunity. Have a major news conference today. Make Cracker Barrel a winner again. Remember, in just a short period of time, I made the United States of America the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Hottest?
1 year ago, it was dead. Good luck! Exclamation point.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
There really is.
I feel like it's backloaded with
Yeah.
America being dead a year ago, and now we're the hottest. Does he mean sexiest?
I don't know what the hell he means. But I do know this.
We're broadcasting
feel
live
like
eventually.
I feel like people have gotten way too worked up over Cracker Barrel doing a logo redesign.
I feel like people
It's just, what are we worked up about?
are the very online people, because I've never met anyone in person who gives who gives a barrel.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to blow up into anything, and it turned into this whole ordeal that
I'm
people
glad
talk
it
about.
did. I think it's opened up a broader conversation about
How stupid we are?
Well, that and how restaurants should be tacky.
Well,
Like McDonald's should be tacky. Now we're out of time. We got to
we are.
continue this conversation. The barrel The barrel rolls on.
And there is an interesting point that I read yesterday, which I had not considered, and it's something we should bring up, and we will do that before the show is over today. But when we come back, the partner and managing director at One Private Wealth, he's with us every Tuesday. It's Dave Simons. We're going to get your finances right. That's next on KMOX.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Representative Jason Smith stopped a massive tax hike by voting to make the 20% small business tax deduction permanent. This means Missouri's small businesses can grow, hire, and invest in our communities. Visit smallbusinessdeduction.com and thank Representative Smith for protecting America's small businesses. Paid for by the National Federation of Independent Business.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend. Oh, my Bob!
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
It is 10 o'clock and we have sunshine, 68 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. A gun drawn after some road rage in Jefferson County, or was it?
This is Stuart McMillan. Jefferson County Sheriff's Department is looking into what it is calling a road rage incident on Highway 21 near Highway M with a pickup truck and 3 motorcycles. It took place on Saturday where a crash injured 2 of the riders. One of them, a 69-year-old man, was taken to the hospital. There was some kind of fight that followed where the truck driver fired a handgun, though no one was hit. Police are interviewing those involved and no charges have been filed because of conflicting stories.
The Democratic National Committee in the second day of meetings in Minneapolis as the party seeks to rebound from the 2024 elections and figure out how to counter the Trump presidency. Trump's job approval has dropped, but polls show the opposition party isn't doing a good job messaging for average Americans. CBS's Nydia Cavazos was at the meetings where Chairman Ken Martin spoke.
He says he's simply sick and tired of the Democratic Party that is bringing a pencil to a knife fight and says it's time to take action, keeping in mind those American values that have long represented what this country is made up of.
The weather is providing some help in containing the Pickett wildfire in Northern California's wine country. Growers and wine producers concerned about the impacts of smoke on their products. The first has burned about 7,000 acres and is 15% contained. CBS's Carter Evans is in Napa.
They're not going to know for a little while because the grapes that are on the vines right now, they've still got a couple of more weeks to go before they're ready to harvest. And they can't actually test a grape and get an accurate reading on smoke damage.
New evidence artificial intelligence, AI, is ruining job prospects for some members of Gen Z.
New research shows AI is a double-edged sword for young people looking for work. A study by 3 Stanford economists shows they're taking a big hit at companies that can use artificial intelligence like ChatGPT to easily and accurately perform the same tasks as humans at a fraction of the cost. Taking a big hit, software developers aged 22 to 25, where the headcount was almost 20% lower than it was at its peak in 2022. But findings show it's also a plus for the just out of college crowd in fields where AI can help them at their work instead of replacing them. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A gorgeous afternoon with bright sunshine at very comfortable high 78. Clear, cool tonight, low 47 in some of the coolest suburbs, 56 downtown at the Arch. Partly sunny tomorrow, the high 81. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, sunny, 68 degrees in downtown St. Louis at 10:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. My dad always said, no one gets out of this world alive. Hi, it's Margaret at Eamon Gantner and Capriano. Do you have a will? Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely on advertising.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, it's Tuesday. You know what happens at Tuesday or on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, just after 10. We talk to Dave Simons. He is the partner and managing director at One Private Wealth. We talk about your finances, how the current events that are happening affect your finances. And Dave is the person to help us all out. What's going on, Dave Simons?
You know, just living the dream, Chris, living the dream.
The who's?
I bet Dave's living his dream.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
You know, honestly, I could not have even imagined. Look, I was a broadcast journalist from Mizzou working in Hayes, Kansas in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how could I have even dreamed this? It's
Dude,
crazy. It's crazy.
Have you seen Hayes, Kansas recently? It is built up.
I just stayed there a couple of weeks ago on our way out to Breckenridge, Colorado. But they still have my statue there, which is nice.
That's
nice.
wonderful.
That's nice.
It's a statue, Ranj. There's a giant roundabout in the center of town.
Yeah.
And towering about 30 feet tall in the roundabout is a statue of Dave.
Actually, it's the size of a thimble. It's little. But Dave, you are huge in our minds.
Well, thank you. You're too kind.
So the Federal Reserve Governor, Lisa Cook, has been fired by the president. She is challenging it, of course, because I don't know if he even has the authority to do it, really. But so this is happening, and I don't know if the markets liked it. It didn't seem like they did yesterday. So how is this going to have an effect on people?
Well, at this point, it doesn't look like it's affecting the markets. You look at these public betting platforms and like Polymarket. Mm-hmm. and right now all the people getting on there in right wing, left wing, liberal, conservative, they all get on there and they bet. It's 35% chance that the president can even do this. And I'm no legal scholar. You know, few people listening right now are constitutional scholars, but I don't think you need to be. When you read what the legality of this, it doesn't look like the president has any real legal standing to do this. But there is a bigger picture that investors have to be aware of. And it's been going on all year. And I'm not going to get into the political weeds. People have their own opinions on what side of the political aisle in which they reside. But this is the first time in my career where I have actually seen the walls that have always separated government from the free economic markets, the capitalistic society in which we live. Those walls are just eroding by the day. And that's what we have to focus on. So as I tell my own clients, look, there's nothing that we need to necessarily do today. But if this continues for some time, there will be less faith in the independence of the Fed. There will be less faith in the reports that we get from like the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We've talked about that before with the unemployment rate. There won't be any faith in the numbers that come out because people will then see it as political. And what's going to happen is you will see interest rates go up. You will see the dollar go down, especially from institutional investors who have always said, we came with our money to your shores because you were the pride and joy of the free market capitalistic system in the world. You're not perfect, but you're the best in an imperfect world. And if those walls are starting to come down, are we anything like anyone else? And I'm not being overly dramatic. We're not there yet, but it's just something that we have to watch.
Going back to whether this is within the president's purview or the constitutionality of firing the governor of the Federal Reserve, it is an independent agency that is not accountable or subordinate to any of the three branches.
It's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be. But if there was a move that needed to be made within the Federal Reserve, would it be self-policing or would it be Congress?
Well, it's supposed to be Congress, and it's supposed to be something that you've done that breaks the law while you are sitting there in your job. So with Lisa Cook, we don't know if she actually committed mortgage fraud, but in this country, we have due process. And it's interesting, a lot of Trump supporters will rightly say, look, all of his enemies have come after him. He's been impeached a couple of times. He's had to go to court, but he's always been able to face his accusers, whether it's a criminal case, civil case, whatever. Most of the time he's won. And that's the great thing about our country. So why are we not affording that to Lisa Cook and saying you allegedly committed some mortgage type fraud by claiming that you had two primary residents before you even had a position on the Fed? Well, let's see that. Is there any juice there? And even if there was, and I will say this, Amy, Chris, what I've read is even that may not be enough to oust her, because the reading has always been for 100 years is that you have to have just cause by something that he or she has done while on the job. And that doesn't appear to be the case.
Dave, this recently we have been made aware of the Intel deal that the government is going to take a 10% stake in it. And opponents of it say, well, isn't this socialism? You say you don't like socialism. That's kind of what this is. The other side argues that it is not. How do you look at this? What does it mean for the economy?
Add it to the list, Chris. Add it to the litany of issues that I've never had to face before. And that is that wall that's breaking down again. This is socialism. Look, you know who supports this, who has gone out publicly and said, hey, I wanted the government to do this a few years ago. I am so glad that President Trump is finally on board. Bernie Sanders. So, and he is an avowed socialist. He's a democratic socialist. I don't know if you guys know who Kevin O'Leary is from Shark Tank. Okay.
Yeah.
He is as conservative, right-wing conservative as you can be and get. And he's a big supporter of Donald Trump. He has been so public about this Intel thing. It is a bad idea. It is a terrible idea. To have capitalism work with all of its warts, you have to let it destroy things. It has to be messy. It has to be painful for it to work, which means companies must sometimes die. And sometimes, unfortunately, workers get hurt. I have been through that early in my career. I worked for a company that just went under. It went bankrupt. I was out of a job. But that's the way it's supposed to be. Now forget about third world countries and all that. Japan, a democracy, suffered through this in the 90s and 2000s, even the 80s. They were supposed to eat our lunch right back in the 80s, and they were buying up everything. The problem was when their economy started to go down, the government was too intertwined in the private sector. They wouldn't let companies fire employees. They would not let companies go under. They took a stake in publicly traded companies. It put them in the desert basically for 34 years. It took 34 years for that stock market to come back. Now, again, not trying to be overly dramatic. I'm not saying we're Japan tomorrow, but this is that slippery slope. I abhor this idea of government taking a stake in a private company, a publicly held stock.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up Bernie Sanders because, gosh, this was months ago where I said you could play a game. Who said it, Trump or Bernie? Because you have seen time and time again that Donald Trump doesn't have a political philosophy. This is me opining, not you, but it's more populist. And if you're more populist, then you're not really a free market libertarian when it comes to economic issues. And Trump was limiting consumer options back in 2015. He kind of he likes to be in control. And this is, I think, setting such a precedent that there's no longer a governing side on limiting the power of government, because Trump likes to have that power. But like you said, so does Bernie Sanders. So if the Republican Party is okay with more government intervention, where is the party that says, whoa, we need to pull back on centralized government power?
There isn't. And I don't really talk about my personal politics whenever I'm on the radio or I write my commentary or ever. I just don't. But I will make an exception, barely. All I'll say is, and I don't think this should surprise anyone, I am a conservative and have been since my college days. And that's typically the way that I vote. I'm not straight party ticket at all. I'm certainly not an ideologue. I'm an equal opportunity antagonist. So with that said, there is no really traditional Republican Party. Not how I grew up in the Reagan days. I'm more of that Reagan Republican type. And so I look at this, and to your point, Amy, those principles now are gone. Now, I'm not going to start arguing one way or the other. Is this the new Republican Party? And that's the way it should be. Hey, people have free choice in their opinions, and that's how many people believe. I just don't. I personally don't abide by that. So I look at this, and like you said, Amy, what true conservative Republicans always stood for really don't exist. Some of it does in social issues, but a lot of the economic issues and the tearing down of the walls and socialistic tendencies never would have existed. Republicans would have rightfully excoriated Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and Joe Biden if they started to take a stake in a publicly traded company, if they fired the head of the BLS because they didn't like the unemployment numbers, if they were going after Fed governors who were not lowering rates and finding any goods on them, we would have set up typical Democrat, typical socialist, here they go. And I look at it like, whoa, it's not them. That's the most political you'll ever hear me say, by the way.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, but I think I'll say, like, I've been a conservative. I feel politically homeless, but just you can almost separate that conversation from this idea of a free market, which seems to be increasingly unpopular all the way around.
All the way around.
It's crazy.
And here's the parting shot, because people will say, okay, great, Dave, but what do we do about it? I'm an investor. I have my 401k. What's going to happen? Well, I would say this: be patient. Today, not much of anything. But if this continues, like I said earlier, you could see a little bit of a weakening of the dollar. That has an impact. You could see interest rates, which is kind of funny since the president wants to really get interest rates lower. I get it. I think the Fed should cut, but market rates will probably go higher as people don't want to own our bonds. The stock market may be muted. It could still go higher, but maybe lower than average returns. This is not good overall for the free market economy. And I'm not a pessimist at all. I think the pendulum will always swing the other way. These are just some tough times we'll have to get through.
Dave Simons, we appreciate you every week talking to us right about this time, and we will do it again next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Dave is the partner and managing director at One Private Wealth, and with us here every Tuesday on KMOX. That's Amy Marks Kors, and I'm Chris Ranji. We're with you until 12 at noon. It's Ollie Day on the Gas House Gang. You'll have Tom Ackerman, Bernie Miklasz, and Oliver Marmol, the manager of your St. Louis Cardinals, after there were ejections last night, a walk-off winner. It was an eventful night at Busch Stadium. So at 12 o'clock, for about a half hour or so, Ollie Marmol joins 104.1 FM KMOX.
Emergency evacuation
Breaking
order.
news that earns national recognition doesn't happen by chance. It's driven by the relentless focus, dedication, and commitment of a trusted newsroom.
Floodwaters are closing
Recently
roads and
honored with the National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news, the KMOX newsroom continues to be the vital source of information for our region.
Shelter in place.
Timely reporting every day and rising to the moment when major stories unfold. 104.1 FM KMOX. The voice of St. Louis.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Vira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Start your day refreshed with a delicious breakfast sandwich deal from Quick Trip. Choose from classics like the sausage, egg, and cheese croissant, the ham, egg, and cheese biscuit, or the melty bacon, egg, and cheese grilled cheese. And get ready to really wake up because it comes with
Any small Red Bull of your choice, all for $5. Woo! Let's go!
That's any breakfast sandwich.
Plus a Red Bull for just $5. Yeah!
QT.
More than a gas station.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
What do you mean, ugh? Oh, get over yourself.
This song.
Is-
No Born to Run.
I think it's a pretty good song, actually.
So 50 years ago,
Mhm.
50 years ago, yesterday, I believe, but let's say this week, 50 years ago this week, Born to Run was released. Also, it makes sense that it's that old, but it's a 50-year-old song.
1975.
That would be, when I was born, the equivalent of celebrating a song that was released in 1933. That's so weird.
Stop.
Oh my gosh.
I hate that.
It is weird. Like Great Depression, the World War II. We weren't even close to it yet. 1933.
Bro,
you saw the whole almost a decade.
The year I was born, 50 years prior
Yeah.
to that, was the 20s. That makes me sick to my stomach.
That's so weird.
I know.
Well, at any rate, we have had this question on the docket for a while. It's going to make people mad. That's always a good question to have to get the public riled up. So here's the thing. I have long said that Bruce Springsteen is overrated.
That's
all of his songs kind of sound the same. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town sounds exactly like Streets of Philadelphia. You're right.
And see, and every time I say that I don't like Bruce Springsteen, every person directs me to the song Streets of Philadelphia, as if that's the only song that sounds different than every other song.
Okay, Glory Days?
That's his, nope.
I'm
That's
on
his-
Fire?
Oh, no. That's his
Yeah.
his one song
Dancing
that
in the Dark?
might be different. No.
Hungry Heart? You're stupid.
At any rate, so our question of the week is very simple. Is Bruce Springsteen overrated? Yes, no.
Okay.
At Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter.
All right. I mean, you could not be more wrong. Look, I'm not.
Well, let
Bruce
me just say,
Springsteen he is not my favorite artist ever. I like him. I like a lot of his songs. I don't need to go to a concert. I'm not in love with him. It became a thing
Mm-hmm.
among, I don't know why, but it became a thing among baseball writers. And like
it
15
is.
years ago was this cliche that in order to become a baseball writer specifically,
Mhm.
you had to love Bruce Springsteen.
Which is
I
also
don't
why-
know why that's a thing, but it was. Okay.
It feels so overplayed, so cliched. So imagine this. I grew up listening to talk radio, sports radio, being in sports. So you hear Born to Run, you hear Bruce Springsteen. But then guess what happened? I became a runner.
Yeah.
And guess what they play at every race? Baby, we were born to run.
Yeah, so there's a difference
Oh.
between overplayed, which I will agree that song is. I think Born in the USA is overplayed.
terrible
but it
song.
doesn't. Well, it's not a terrible song. That's
Great song.
That's ridiculous.
terrible.
Yeah, silly. But it's okay to not like it. It's okay to not think it's great. It's okay to think that it is overplayed. But to say that it is, to say that he is terrible is just
I
objectively.
didn't say terrible.
Well,
Did
he's
I
not.
say terrible? I said overrated. That's
Okay.
the question. That's a totally different question because I respect
But he's not
him.
overrated.
Well, at least stick to the point because the point is he
I am.
overrated?
He's not overrated.
And I think
I think
that
it's a bad take on your part.
oh, I'm sure it is. I have no point. I have no problem with saying it's a bad take. Just like I think I should be really upset about Wilson Contreras. I think it was a terrible look. It's making national news, his hissy fit that he threw. But for some reason, I'm not that upset by it. I think I'm wrong there. But I'm just saying it's art. Art is subjective. I think there are some objective elements to art in the sense that, I mean, he is hugely successful. He's popular. He was, I think, emblematic of the zeitgeist of Americana for a long time, and that's why people love him. So I have no problem. It's not personal for me. Good on Bruce. If I were 1% as successful as Bruce Springsteen, I would be happy. If I had to partner with Bruce Springsteen for some project, I would be thrilled because ultimately you just need to make it. I'm just saying feels overrated to me and a little redundant at this point. In the same way that
Redundant?
his music feels redundant.
Hmm.
But
How? Play that out
in
for
the
me.
sense that like Born in the USA, Baby We're Born to Run, what were the other songs? They all kind of sound the same. They
There are
blend.
two songs with the word born
They
in them.
well, no, but they blend.
See, I don't think any of his songs sound the same. I don't think Glory Days sounds like Born in the USA or
They
Philadelphia.
give me the same vibe. But I will say this. I don't care if no one agrees with me, because again, it's subjective, I'm fine with
You're
being
subjecting
wrong.
us to a bad take.
Fine with it. Same with this. I can say that U2 is one of the greatest rock bands of all time, and also have 0 songs on any of. I have 0 songs. I mean, it's not even Apple. It's not iTunes anymore. I use Spotify. I never ever listen to U2. They're not my style. I don't enjoy listening to them. But I can tell you they're one of the best bands ever. And if I had an opportunity to see them live, I would go. I feel like that's a very reasonable, objective, subjective take.
Okay.
And with Bruce Springsteen, he's overrated. And I think people wouldn't like him as much if he didn't wear jeans all the time.
I don't know what that has to do with anything. But
Yeah, that's his vibe.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he wore khaki pants
He's like the only one who wears jeans.
all the time.
Okay.
If he wore khaki pants, you wouldn't like him as much, I bet.
Well, who wears khaki pants on stage? Name one artist who wears khakis on stage.
And you know why they don't? Because it shows sweat.
That's obviously.
They would all have so much crotch sweat.
Nobody knows that better than you.
Oh, I had to throw my shorts away.
Your khakis shorts.
Yeah, not because they were irretrievably soaked in sweat, but because it was just so embarrassing. It was just a bad memory. It's kind of like when you have the stomach flu and you eat something, you can't eat that thing for a while.
This texter says he is certainly overrated now for his time he did. He did okay, but just does not hold up. That's a bad take. Terrible take. Terrible. It doesn't hold up. Then why do they keep playing his music?
Well, right now, our question of the week: 100% of the votes say he's overrated.
Is there one vote?
There's 5. There are 5 votes.
Go ahead and vote for us at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter. You need to follow us so you can vote in that poll. We would love to have you participate. You can watch the show right there from Twitter as well. If you want to see Amy and me, you can do that. When we come back, Charles Boehm, he covers MLS for MLSsoccer.com. City SC fired Lutz Pfannenstiel yesterday, and they are looking for a new sporting director. So it's an interesting time for our soccer team here in St. Louis. Charles is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get insights on the go. Download the California Psychics app today.
It's gorgeous outside, 69 degrees, delightful with plenty of sunshine, a high of 79, clear to partly cloudy and cool with temperature breaking the record low of 51 set in 1968. That means the low is 50. Weather sponsored by FanDuel Sports Network. Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV and streaming home of the Cardinals. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals, or watch through your TV provider. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com for details.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Now through September 1st, the Labor Day sale is going on at Zero Res, 3 rooms for $119, plus a free hallway and $75 off your air ducts. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
A triumphant roar from this Canadian crowd. Vancouver, in controversial fashion, wins 3-2 over St. Louis City SC.
Big news day yesterday. A lot happening, actually, here in St. Louis. And we got the news during the show that the sporting director for City SC, Lutz Pfannenstiel, had been let go by the organization. And to discuss that with us today and what is next for our beloved soccer team, Charles Boehm is an MLS writer for MLSsoccer.com. And we welcome Charles into the show. Appreciate you being with us today. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Before we get to the firing, which was the big news yesterday, we were going to, I think at one point, get into that controversial call that happened at the end of the game, a penalty that may not have been a penalty. And I know people were really upset about all of that. And my understanding was Lutz was going to join one of our shows yesterday and vent about it, but he didn't get that opportunity. So what did you think of that play that ended up being in, stoppage time, the game winner?
Yeah, it certainly, I think, struck a nerve among the City faithful. And I understand, because it's a gut punch, right, to take a loss, a comeback loss in that situation under those circumstances with the timing. For me, though, and I know this is one of these areas in the modern game where maybe attempts to clarify from an officiating and rule book sense only further complicate matters. For me, it's a penalty. You can say it's a soft penalty, I guess, but this is the challenge of being a modern defender at the top level, because you do have to be aware of even these tiny differences, these subtle aspects of body shape and interaction with an attacking player. And even the slightest of touches can knock that player off the stride. Did the Whitecaps player, I think it was Laborda, right? Exaggerate the contact? I don't know, but it just takes the slightest amount of contact to trip up a player. It probably took longer than it should have for the officiating crew to get that sorted out. And that, again, I understand adds to the frustration and the sense of injustice. But I think this is just sort of like what the rule book has led us to. This is how the rules are interpreted now. So a tough situation at the tail end of a tough season for the club. But I think for me, yeah, it is a pen.
Oh, interesting. It's looking at it, it doesn't look like there's any
a whole lot there.
Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't see any contact at all. But quickly, before we get back to Lutz, do you think this will trigger a review of the rule book as it stands?
I think you would say in general terms are always going to be evaluating things and figuring out what works. I think in the more immediately relevant part is that I'm sure all the officials involved, because there's an exhaustive amount of training analysis post game, and so a situation like this is, I think, going to get heavily analyzed for referees in general in the pro officiating pool, but then those specific officials are all going to drill into this. It's part of the craft, and again, I think this is an aspect of that doesn't resonate as much for fans, but the accountability that those referees face, even if it's not necessarily paraded out publicly, except in the most extreme cases, there is accountability because everyone involved in that is going to get worked through it and is going to analyze into the very smallest details how they did it, what they could have done differently. I think for sure in all these situations that there can be more proactive communication. I love some of the pilot projects that have gone on and trying to sort of communicate better on the part of the referees in real time what they saw and why, and I think they can do more. And so my hope is that we'll see, maybe this incident among others will sort of add to that drumbeat of emphasizing the need for proactive communication in real time, and then afterwards as well, the pool reporting process where the journalists on site get a clear answer as to what the official saw and how they decided.
Okay, so moving on to sporting director for City SC, Luft Pfannenstiel, being let go. I think that's not the biggest head scratcher. The big question might be the timing of it. The transfer window just closed. You had Lutz signing players for the future team ahead of him that he will no longer be involved with. Are you surprised by that timing?
I think yes and no. On the one hand, I think, and what we're hearing sort of general rumblings that there was maybe not everyone at the executive level, at the upper levels of decision making of the club was in lockstep anymore. I don't know the extent of whether there was a falling out or just simply a disagreement or a reevaluation of at the executive level of the track record. But I think again, when you step back a moment, and I know it can be hard for everyone who's so close to the team and so passionate about it to get the 10,000 foot view that maybe someone like me is naturally inclined to take up. When you look at the coaching sort of revolving door that's happened, the sustained difficulties in finding results and being competitive now over a couple of seasons, right? I think you can say that on a national level, there was growing sort of, I think, questions and doubts about Lutz's decisions and when it all sort of came home to roost in the results and then the amount of turnover at the coaching level, I think that started to raise questions. And I wasn't surprised in that sense that Carolyn Kindle, Diego Giuliani, and the people above Lutz felt like they had to make a move, because part of what happens in the transfer window, I think, is you're analyzing what do we need in the near term, how do we start to build towards next season, because it's going to be very difficult for City SC to do anything that could rescue this season, right? I mean, there's so many points; they're too far gone. It's a difficult picture, even with a forgiving playoff structure in MLS. And so I think when you start to look ahead to, okay, how do we get better in this window for 2026? I think naturally the thought process starts to transition towards, do we have the team in place to lead that process going forward? So
I know that before the season started, Carolyn Kindle Betts had said that, they're going to make the playoffs. That was a declaration that this is going to happen. And we know that the league can be a little volatile from year to year, that it's not unusual for a team to be bad one year and then be solidly in the playoffs the following season. How close do you think this particular team can be to being competitive and back in the playoffs?
I do think there's quality on the roster. You have some pieces to work with. I like a lot of the key pieces. I mean, you still have an excellent goalkeeper and leader in Roman Berkey. The designated players, I mean, not all the signings from overseas and those kind of TAM and DP level players have worked out, but I think you still have a lot of quality in someone like Marcel Hartl and Edouard Lowe. And then I certainly hope he in the near term or sooner or later can get back to his best and be able to fully sort of focus on what's happening on the pitch. But then when you look at the supporting cast, I think for me, when I try to analyze Lutz's tenure overall, there were some really smart acquisitions across multiple different sort of mechanisms, both domestic players, trades, and as well as international signings. And I thought when he needed an upgrade, he was got a little bit too much in the habit, I think, of looking homeward, of looking towards the Central Europe and Germany in general. And of course, certainly I think he had some good ideas there. When you saw over and over again, kind of going back to that same well, began to raise questions about just how wide is the lens in terms of where they're looking for talent. When I look at a player like, for example, Celio Pompeu, that's a talented player who was found at a relative bargain through domestic acquisition mechanisms, right? And a diamond in the rough that got polished up. AZ Jackson is another good example, a talented player who contributed a lot, who was found within the league. And there wasn't enough of that, I thought, in more recent transfer windows. So for me, in the grand scheme, I think the biggest drawback when we look at Lutz's overall tenure, you had an excellent first season, but and there were some really funny online conversations in terms of like the analytics community and data type people debating, in some cases even with City SC fans, like, okay, all the underlying data is telling us that this team is overperforming its fundamental metrics, right? And you cannot sustain that. Sooner or later, you will regress towards the mean. And I think that was a almost like a real nasty regression that happened. And I don't think Lutz really picked that out. I think he over-indexed on that first season as opposed to digging a little deeper.
MLS writer for MLSsoccer.com, Charles Boehm, with us. We appreciate you taking the time to visit with us, Charles, and breaking it down. Thank you for being on the show.
Always a pleasure.
Charles Boehm with us. Again, MLSsoccer.com is the website. So City SC has moved on from Lutz Pfannenstiel. We talked a little bit about that penalty kick that happened at the end of the game over the weekend and decided the game. Somebody is not happy with us. John in South County is not happy with us.
Wait, John, you're not happy with me?
What's wrong, John?
Yeah, Amy and Chris, I wish you would push back at people when they say stuff that's baloney. That was not a penalty. The guy embellished it. That embellishment goes on all the time. That's why soccer, they embellish. They act like they got shot sometimes.
Yeah, it's not hockey, right? Hockey players. No,
No.
well, that's
Also, Charles, Charles didn't make the call.
well, I
Just
know.
tell us what he
but
thought.
Teams-
He sounds like he's sticking up for the league.
He doesn't work for the league.
Well, I will say this though, to your point. That's why I was a little bit shocked. You might have heard my response say, "Wow,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
surprised."
glad you said something.
I felt like I wanted to be honest. I wanted to move on to Lutz, but I didn't because I was just so surprised he said that. I watched that video like 10 times. I could not see contact. He just tripped on the turf.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I'm glad you said that, but they don't stop the clock when there's injuries. What was there, 14 minutes added on at the end of the period? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think eliminating ties in soccer would be the first start, and then we could
Sudden
change
death
some rules.
overtime, not penalty kicks. Sudden death overtime.
I don't know, man. I feel like our guy should stop tripping people.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, right.
He's messing with you. Don't.
No, he's just,
This is
I
what
mean,
he
this
does.
this never would have happened if our guys weren't
To be
tripping
honest,
people.
I will say it didn't even seem close to me.
No,
it
you're
wasn't
right, Amy.
close.
Well, I don't know about that. It did
It
seem
wasn't close. I have
Yeah, it
bad
was a little
eyes.
close.
I have
It was a
bad
little
eyes,
close.
and I could see daylight. I felt like you could throw a tea party in between the two players.
It's very easy when somebody's in stride to, just sort of tap their foot a little bit and trip them. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's totally easy.
This guy. And I got to work with
maybe
him
we
every
should-
day. I have to work with
maybe
this
we should
doofus
stop cheating.
every day.
And they did the replay after the play was over. They didn't, that's what I didn't get. The call wasn't made. And I thought the rule is unless there's, overwhelming evidence that foul occurred, you don't change the call.
To
And
me,
they did it.
to me, this was Don Denkinger level miss.
Okay.
It
All
was.
right, let's calm down,
No,
everyone.
It was Don. I'm mad
Everybody-
at myself now for
Everybody
not.
calm down.
No, this is Don Denkinger. It was
That's-
the dumbest call I've ever seen.
Okay. Let's.
Well, it was a bad call, but,
Yeah.
the Cardinals didn't really play that well in the World Series anyway. They almost won it anyway.
That's true. Well,
Do you
John,
know what?
we
My
appreciate
whole
it.
life, as a quick note, my whole life,
Thank you, John.
because such a big deal is made about Don Denkinger, and obviously I was. What year was that?
85.
85. Yeah, 85.
How do you forget that?
Because I was 2.
Oh.
So I didn't get to experience it. So most of my life, I thought that was Game 7. I thought we lost because of that.
No, they had another opportunity
I
to
know,
come
but
back
it
out.
feels like we lost because of it. And it was only recently that they said, Amy, the series continued. In my mind, the World Series ended with that call.
But I have a theory about a devastating emotional loss like that it is almost almost impossible to come back, even though you have another game to close it out.
Okay.
I think so the way they lost that game was so devastating that I'm not sure that they can come back in game 7 and win.
The counter argument to that. When the Blues lost the hand pass game to the San Jose Sharks in 2019, I knew they were going to win. I knew you could tell in the locker room. You talk about being unflappable. It was almost like they were cavalier because they knew we're going to come back and win. We're not going to drown ourselves in our sorrow.
It's the only exception.
Well,
it's the only exception.
Don't you think
when the Bartman game happened, I was watching that happen, and that was oh my God. Watch when the Steve Bartman game happened in a game 6. I was like, they can't win game 7, no chance, and they lost.
Yeah,
they
but
even
that's
took
because
the lead
they're
in game 7.
Whiny Cubs.
Well, did you see Wilson Contreras last night? He got a little whiny.
That was frustration. That wasn't whiny.
Yeah, it's whiny.
That was. But
I appreciate it.
Righteous rage.
I appreciate the whining because he was.
Except
he
for
cares.
Don't
he
throw
cares.
a bat at your coach.
Do not
that
throw
one
a bat
was bad.
at your coach's
That
face.
is a little bit worse the more I see it.
That was not great.
That was not great.
It's Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX. Don't forget, 12 o'clock, Oliver Marmol on the Gas House Gang here on 104.1 FM.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The legendary sound of the Doobie Brothers is rolling into town. Don't miss the show. Coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, September 4th, with special guest, the Coral Reefer Band. It's a night of timeless hits, epic harmonies, and classic rock energy like only the Doobies can deliver. Tickets are still available and can be found at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, head to KMOX.com/events.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Hello, fellow Missourians. This is your Congressman Bob Onder. My top priority is serving you. Whether you need help with a VA claim, Social Security, Medicare, or any other federal issue, my team and I are here to cut through the red tape and give you answers. In the last 6 months alone, we have returned over $1 million to taxpayers. Call my office or visit my website, onder.house.gov, to learn more. Missouri is my home, and I'm honored to serve you in D.C.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet within 125 miles. We're closer than you think. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Well, we like to give things away on this show, and we are giving away, keep listening, it's not now, but we are giving away tickets to see the Doobie Brothers at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on September 4th. So when you're prompted, not now, call in for your chance to win. So keep listening. You could win some Doobie Brother tickets.
Yeah. Wait for your chance, though, because if you start calling, here's what happens if you call now.
Don't threaten.
Well, what happens is your phone will self-destruct like in Mission Impossible. So,
which, while cool, is inconvenient.
And we saw somebody who just called in and their phone's gone now. I told you not to do it.
Also, it's Taco Tuesday. We will be at Session Taco in the Central West End from 12:30 to 1:30. That little window, you got to catch us then. And we will be buying some food for people. Not us, really. It's Jerry Kelly is buying some food for people. We're just the messengers.
Yeah, we're not paying the whole check, but we're going to give you a little bit off. And it's until our money runs out. So until Jerry Kelly's money that they gave us for this today runs out. I mean, you could show up at 12:45 and it could be gone. So just letting you know ahead of time depends on how quickly people come out today.
If the masses are flooding to see us, which one would assume they would be.
But you know what? If it does happen, just get yourself a nice little lunch because it's a good spot. And they just reopened.
They just reopened after
closed for a couple of years after the fire.
Hey, I did have one quick note that I wanted to. It's really a PSA. Well, it's a PSL PSA.
Personal seat license.
Close.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Today, the pumpkin spice latte is released today. Yeah. Unleashed on the masses via Starbucks. At least it's a good 51-degree weather day. The worst is when the pumpkin spice latte hits the shelves.
And it's 85?
95. Who can do that?
I don't know, but I love pumpkin spice latte season.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I feel about pumpkin spice lattes the same way I feel about parades. I don't really like them. Like, I don't like pumpkin spice lattes, but I know I like knowing that they're going on.
You like knowing that it's here.
I love knowing that it's here. Same with parades. I don't want to go to a parade. They're boring and inconvenient, but I love knowing that a parade is happening. There's something old-timey and festive and camaraderie, community about a parade. And that's how I feel about pumpkin spice latte.
What about like World Series / Stanley Cup parades? Do you hate those too?
I love championships parades, but those are different.
Those are worth the hassle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I don't even think they're that big of a hassle, but I like them anyway, you know?
Yeah. You know, I love watching the Rose Parade for about 3 minutes.
I don't even know what happens at the Rose Parade.
They make
just a lot of roses
out of petals and spices and
this is
herbs.
Like ahead of the Rose Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But everything has to be organic. So they use hay and sesame seeds.
Sesame seeds?
They do. And
for what?
Grass. Well, sesame seeds, like if you need a black center of a sunflower.
Oh, I see
you
what
would
you're saying.
need to use 7 million sesame seeds.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's really interesting. But I love knowing that it happens.
I love parades.
That's all I have.
I don't mind parades. I really love the championship parade. I hope we get a championship parade sometime soon in St.
Hey,
Louis.
I did want to let everybody know, not only are we giving away Doobie Brothers tickets in the next hour, but Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite is joining us.
That's right. Efren Ramirez will be on the show at 11:30. You'll want to stick around for that. The final hour of the Chris and Amy show coming up on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Wheeler. Struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain? Game Day Men's Health has you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more, all in a relaxed environment that's like being in the man cave. At Game Day, you get a free testosterone test and consultation all in just an hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with 3 area locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Breaking News. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, Glover, right now buy 2 windows and get 2 for free. No interest for 5 years. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
It is 11 o'clock, sunshine and 71 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. President Trump has signed a new executive order allowing him to create National Guard units, including a new rapid response force to shut down what the White House calls civil disturbances. This all comes as the president is threatening to send National Guard troops to Chicago. Gun violence survivors held a news conference denouncing this move. Tamika Howard has lost family members to gun violence and works with young people.
If this country is serious about saving lives, then invest in what's proven to work. Invest in our youth. Invest in our healing. Invest in prevention.
Resident Henry Thompson tells the Sun-Times if the federal government wants to make the city safer, they should provide funds for more detectives to solve crimes. The police department says the number of shootings in Chicago has dropped by 57% in the past 4 years. The St. Louis Circuit Attorney is relaunching the Citizens Academy. Gabe Gore tells Total Information AM the program existed under a previous circuit attorney, and he believes it's a great way to show community leaders how the system works.
Exposure to the entire criminal justice process from, intake, from the application to warrant. They're going to learn how the warrant office works all the way through trial, sentencing. They're going to learn every aspect of that. In addition, we're going to do some tours.
The 6-week program is limited to 15 people and launches in October. You can apply at circuitattorney.org and click on Community Engagement. Wind gusts in northern Nevada desert reached as high as 45 miles per hour Monday, making for a major dust storm at the annual Burning Man Festival. Tents and art installations, even vehicles reportedly damaged. There is rain in the forecast for later this week. The state of Missouri can continue subsidizing private school scholarships with state taxpayer money while a lawsuit winds its way through the courts. A Cole County Circuit judge turned down the state's motion to dismiss the case, but also rejected the National Education Association request to stop the funds from going out until the case is resolved. At issue is the Mo Scholars Program, originally set up by the state as a way for people to donate money to fund private school scholarships. But in the last budget, Governor Kehoe authorized $51 million of general revenue to go through the treasurer's office, creating what the lawsuit calls a state-sponsored voucher program. The lawsuit says that's unconstitutional since there's no state statute for that. The NEA says the unhampered flow of tax dollars to private schools will further devastate public schools, especially in small towns.
Another delightful afternoon with abundant sunshine and our high 78. Clear skies, cool tonight, though 47 in some of the outlying areas, about 56 downtown at the Arch. Partly sunny tomorrow, the high 81. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently sunny and 71 degrees in downtown St. Louis at 11:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Chris Ron, Amy Mark Scores with you. And
You should have let this breathe for a second. I mean, Amy.
I wanted to get into it.
I know, but
There-
Oasis is coming up.
I think
2 days.
nobody cares. I think
Nobody
there are a lot of
Everybody
people.
cares. It's
a
sold
lot of
out in
people-
seconds. Of course, everybody
I think
cares.
The people who are going care and nobody else cares.
Or
Like,
in people who couldn't get tickets.
maybe, but I don't know that they're really interested in your excitement and anticipation.
I think a lot of people are interested that the Gallaghers are back together.
Well, Ron hopes that at the last song they break up on stage.
That's right. I do want to be there for the breakup if it happens.
You know, there's been some kind of I guess, controversy discussion around Serena Williams, perhaps the greatest tennis player of all time, one of the greatest, at least, tennis players of all time, and she has been doing commercials, advertisements for GLP-1 medication, the weight loss medication better known right as Mounjaro or Ozempic. And she said, hey, I'm taking these weight loss drugs. I'll give you the direct quote from an interview with Today. She said, as an athlete and as someone that has done everything, I just couldn't get my weight to where I needed to be at a healthy place. And believe me, I don't take shortcuts. I do everything but shortcuts. Specifically, she was saying after the birth of her daughters, she has 2 daughters, that she just couldn't see the results that she wanted from diet and exercise. So now she is doing commercials and advertisements for GLP-1 medications. And it's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, partly because she's one of the greatest athletes ever. She was disciplined in her exercise, her workout routine. She worked out 5 hours a day. I'm sure that she had a very specific diet for when she was competing. And she has said multiple times throughout her career that my body is not supposed to be small, because we all have our weight equilibrium, and not everybody is built the same way. Some people will naturally have a leaner build. Some will have a more athletic or thicker build. And she has said, my body's not supposed to be tiny. And obviously her body has done amazing things. I don't think I could play tennis for 3 hours at that level. So then the question is, while it is absolutely her right, bodily autonomy, do what she needs to do and be healthy, to take that medicine, do the advertisements cross a line? So not so much that we're surprised that she's taking weight loss medication, but do the advertisements cross a line where it's saying, hey, you can win championships and be this great athlete, but you probably still want to be smaller?
So
it's rubbing some people the wrong way. Like, wait a minute, aren't you super healthy?
Yeah, so having read a little bit about what she has done, and there was a Today Show interview where she talked about this. I almost feel like it's not my position to judge her at all.
Not for taking it, but the advertisements. Think about the advertisements, because the controversy is not so much that she's making a private medical decision, because that's her choice. The choice that people are discussing right now is, well, now it's no longer a private medical decision. Now it's an advertisement.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what the big deal is. If I don't like medical or drug commercials at all. I don't think we should have any of them. Maybe Tylenol, stuff like that, over the counter, mild drugs, not a big deal to me. But prescription stuff, I have a huge problem with any advertising whatsoever on it. So that's the baseline for me. But I don't think this is more egregious than anything else. I don't think this is worse than, being told that, hey, maybe you have plaque psoriasis or something, and you don't even know that you have that. Because in my opinion, you should go to the doctor and say, here's what I'm feeling. This doesn't feel quite right. And the doctor says, okay, here's your ailment, and here's what you can do about it. It should not be, to me anyway, it should not be you go into the doctor and saying, hey, I'm thinking about taking this drug. Do you have it? And can you give it to me? That's a little bit different. Now, she had talked about this on the Today Show, that no matter how healthy she was, playing tennis, running, biking, all of these things that she was doing, she couldn't get blood sugar levels right. She couldn't get some parts of her body were just didn't feel right to her. And, if blood sugar is an issue, then this might be the only way to regulate it. I don't have a bigger problem with this than any other prescription drug.
So
commercial.
And I think one reason why this has become so controversial too is because ultimately weight loss, which I know we all talk about weight loss, but weight loss and being skinny and being thin 100% leads into women's insecurities. I mean, there are multi-billion-dollar industries based on telling women that how you look is not good enough. Now, there's I guess you'd call her an influencer, Alex Light, on TikTok. And she starts her discussion of this topic very clearly saying, Serena Williams has bodily autonomy. If you need to take a medicine or you want to take a medicine to feel better, to be healthier, that is 100% her right. Then she gets into her issue with the advertisement. She said, quote, now this again is for Ro, R-O, which is where it's a health company where you can get these medications. Alex Light said, even a quick look at Ro's website delivers the message. GLP-1 medications may have serious side effects, including possible thyroid tumors, and none of which were disclosed in the advertisement. Promoting them, weight loss drugs, through glossy photo shoots and celebrity endorsements risks turning them into must-have lifestyle accessories instead of what they are, pharmaceuticals. So she said, she continues, we have to question a culture that keeps turning private medical interventions into aspirational marketing, especially when women's insecurities are the fuel driving all of this. And I do think that there is something to be said for the beautiful glossy photos that don't say, hey, there are some serious side effects of these medicines. We also have not been taking these medicines for a long time. So there are admissions that we don't know what the long-term effects of these pharmaceuticals are. So I think you can hold both truths, that Serena has the autonomy, the right to make that decision, hopefully in conjunction with a doctor, since it's a pharmaceutical, and there are going to be side effects, versus, there's something about the glamorization of further weight loss. that can rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, and I don't have more of a problem with her doing this than any other prescription drug commercial. And whatever the effects are, the side effects, the potential dangers, it's unfortunate that doctors now have to be responsible for that, because it's really the drug companies that are pushing all of these things out there into the public sphere, and then we all, have to address it from there. But it's on doctors now. They need to say, look, okay, I can give you this, and this could help you. You're a candidate for it. It would work for you, but here are the things that could happen to you, and you need to think about that and weigh it against the rest of your health. But that's the job. It stinks that it is an added responsibility to them, because otherwise they wouldn't have had to take questions from patients who come in and say, hey, I saw this advertisement for this drug or that drug. Can you give it to me? And now the doctor has to say, this is probably not a good idea for you, or maybe this is a good idea for you, but here are the side effects. I mean, really, that's just the way it is now. So, it's the responsibility of your physician to lay that out for you now.
What's interesting is Simone Biles had done a commercial previously for Mounjaro, which is a GLP-1, but she did it from the diabetes side. I believe the commercial was like her and her father or something. It was a medication from the diabetes side. And I think I'm saying this right. Jamil, the actress. You would recognize her if you saw her.
White is the last name White?
No, Jamila Jamil.
Jamil. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
She was in was it The Good Place? Is that the show she was in?
I think so.
Yeah, The
I
Good
think
Place
so.
with Kristen Bell.
So she opined in a long post about Serena's advertisements, and she said, quote, "The thing I feel most uncomfortable about here is that celebrities have access to doctors most others don't have access to. These miracle, quote, weight loss drugs come at a price. The side effects can include paralysis of the gastric system, pancreatitis, cancer, hair loss, osteoporosis, severe malnutrition." She goes on with all of these things, how you need blood tests and DEXA scans and a dedicated weights regimen, and how it's not as simple as a shot. There's a lot that goes into it because it's a pharmaceutical. And I think she has a good point there. And you know what? I'm sure that some of it is that Serena is such an incredible athlete. You would assume healthy, successful, powerful, had made her career too on take up space on the court, because there is societal pressure for women to become smaller, thinner, tinier, take up less space. And so I think for some people, it felt off. I think a big part of it is what your issue is, which is we just shouldn't be glamorizing medicine in general.
I hate all prescription, and I think we have some on this station. I don't think there's a station in the country that doesn't have some pharmaceutical advertising, and it's inescapable. It's going to continue, and I know that. But I don't like it. There should just be a two-way process. You go to your doctor and say, here's what doesn't feel right. What can you do for me, or what can I do? And the doctor says, well, there's this drug or this drug. We can try this. I just don't like the idea of, hey, I saw this commercial for this thing. Can this help me out? Don't like it.
And talk about side effects.
Don't like it.
Because even if you can, like statins, I didn't know this until I started talking to all my friends. As you get older and you realize people take statins for cholesterol, how they can make your bones hurt so bad that you can barely function. And so you have to, maybe they put you on a different statin. If you can control cholesterol with diet changes, which my close family member did, it was a game changer versus being in pain from the statins. Let me ask you this. Does this change your opinion at all? Ro, that company through which Serena is getting her GLP-1, her husband is an investor and board member of the company. Does it feel weird, or does it make sense? Well, of course she would advertise for them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's helping her, if it's actually helping her. And I don't know if it is or not. She is claiming that it does. And if it's a blood sugar thing that she's trying to regulate that she's never been able to get a handle on in the past, and knowing that she's, not going to be, she's not an elite athlete any longer because that part of her life is done. Right. that it's only going to be harder for her to control those things. If this is really helping her, then I have no problem with that whatsoever. But I don't know. I'm not her doctor, so I can't tell you.
Probably a combo. Yeah. Like I said, of her being an elite athlete, I will say my first take as a woman is like yet another way. Oh crap, I'm not good enough. I'm not thin enough. I can win Wimbledon, and people are like, "Hey, I'm glad you won Wimbledon in the US Open, but you could lose a little weight. You would be better." And so I'm not saying that's her approach. I'm saying that is easy for me to have that takeaway from it. And that's kind of bothersome on top of the fact that we should just not advertise pharmaceuticals, period.
Well, let's do this because we think that we would love to give to you. We love to give. We always love to give, don't we, on this show, Amy?
We love to give.
That's what we call it. We call it giving. Let's take caller number 7 to the contest line. If you want to see the Doobie Brothers September 4th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, here's a chance for a pair of tickets. Caller number 7 to 314-955-1120. 955-1120. Caller 7 gets to see the Doobs at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. We'll have tickets to give away for the rest of the week. If you miss out today, don't worry. You'll have another opportunity before the week is over. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronchi, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
we welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
You want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and Zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, Debbie Monterey here with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. We've worked together for more than 5 years, and I've learned a lot about you and your business. Today, I actually found out a few things I didn't know, like your home sales stats. Compared to the average agent who sells less than 4 to 6 homes a year, you actually sell a home just about every other day. And even more impressive, your business has been built on giving back to our local community, including supporting St. Louis Children's Hospital.
Thank you. Every business should have a Go Serve Big initiative. When someone makes a referral, they're helping our communities, including St. Louis Children's Hospital, which is very special to me and my family because they helped me when I had my son many years ago. Today, sellers want to sell with certainty in this uncertain market. My upfront written guarantees are my secret to selling your home fast and for top dollar.
Friends, the secret is out. Call Gloria now at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, website or gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Congratulations, Kevin from St. Charles. Congratulations.
Huh.
Kevin grabbed a pair of tickets to see the Doobie Brothers.
He did.
He's going to go September 4th, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. We still have tickets to give away tomorrow, next day. So
And
you have to listen for your chance to win.
You can listen. You can watch the YouTube stream. And this is a very niche observation, but with my current haircut, which you can see on the YouTube stream,
Mm-hmm.
the way it falls kind of looks like Bob Dog from Mr. Rogers. Remember Bob Dog?
Bob Dog?
Yes. He was the grown man in a dog suit.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, did you ever watch Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Bob Dog was
Yeah,
a neighbor.
Bob Dog?
Yep, Google it. I
have no idea
I
what you're
look
talking-
exactly like Bob
All
Dog.
right, I'm looking at him now. That does not ring a bell at all. I remember all the puppets. I do not remember this
Well,
weirdo.
Bob Dog didn't live in the neighborhood of make believe.
Well, that's why I don't know him.
I think you have to Google Bob Dog Mr. Rogers.
I see him.
Okay.
I'm looking at him right now.
And
I've
he's
never
got
seen that
the
before.
little nose that's pointed brown, and he's got a painted on.
Bob Trow,
That was his real name.
played by Bob Trow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of this guy. Don't like him.
Wow.
Don't like him.
I cannot believe.
Get your ass out of make believe. You don't belong there.
Well, it looks like Bob Dog was one of the few crossover characters because I see him talking to Lady Elaine and Prince Tuesday in the neighborhood of make believe.
Now they belong there.
But he's also in Mr. Rogers' house.
I want ICE to show up and take Bob Trow the hell out of make
All right.
believe.
Well, we almost took we almost sent our producer to the neighborhood of make believe yesterday.
Did we?
Well, somebody did.
I was on a walk on the Deer Creek Greenway from Maplewood to Webster Groves. And there's a part of the Greenway where it crosses Brentwood, right at Brentwood and Marshall. And I'm waiting for my crosswalk to turn, the right signal.
White.
Turn white. Yeah, little white man. And I get it. I'm crossing. And I always look both ways, common sense. But I've got my music in too. So I really want to be aware of what's going on. I see a car coming pretty fast. And like the back of my head is like, what if he's not stopping? And I just get crushed or whatever. That thought always happens. And then I realized, man, he's still really close and still shows no sign of stopping. And I know I've got my crosswalk sign lit up. And so I just stop in the middle of the road. And I'm like, I kind of like wave him down, like, what's going on, man? And the guy just like flies through a red light. And it wasn't close enough for me to like jump back or anything, but it was close enough where if I had not been looking both ways, I would have been.
He would have got you.
He would have got me.
Oh.
And it just made me think, like, was this guy is he negligent? Was he on his phone, or was he mad at me for crossing the road when I had the right to?
He wants to know, was there intent to injure, or do you think this guy was distracted? Or do you think he just didn't care? Which I
So-
said, some people I feel like just
Yeah.
don't care. They don't think. They're
Here's
just
what's-
like, he'll get out of the way. I'm the one in the car.
What's interesting about this, did we have this conversation or did I hear this somewhere else? It was definitely within the last week. And it was one of the reasons that these automated cars are bad, self-driving cars, is because they are so good at recognizing people and stopping so they don't hit somebody that it actually makes traffic worse because pedestrians can know that and they just walk right out in front of cars all the time. So you can hold up a self-driving car because the car's going to stop for me.
I have
But the only thing
never
that
heard
keeps
of
your
that.
dumb ass on the sidewalk and obeying the traffic signals crossing streets is knowing that there's some driver out there that's not paying attention and might kill you.
Well, and that's
but
the thing.
But
Do
a
you think-
self-driving car won't do that.
Do you think this guy saw Matt, saw the red light, and said, listen, this kid's going to get out of the way because I'm the one in the car. I'm going to run a red light and I don't care, because I've definitely seen that disregard for others in driving all the time. They know it's like a game of chicken, and they like, well, I know the responsible person is going to get out of my way.
So that's what they're saying. That's what keeps people from obeying, or it keeps people or pedestrians. It makes them obey the traffic signals.
Yes.
Because there's the knowledge that a driver out there may not be paying attention and could hit you. And therefore, you will wait for the walk sign before you actually cross the street.
But he did. He had the walk sign. That's our point.
I got my sign.
Yeah, we're
that's
just
my
saying,
point too.
But think about if I wasn't looking both ways and I was just doing what I was supposed to be doing, and I got my crosswalk, so I started walking, dead.
Kept you honest.
It did.
Didn't it?
But I always think like, okay, if that guy had then pulled over or whatever, and I had to talk to him, if I, after being righteously PO'd at him, I would want to have an honest conversation with him. Like, did you know what you were doing? Like, if I was a second later and you took the life of somebody, how would you react? Like, would you still be mad at me for crossing the sidewalk? Would you be regretful of what you had done? Like, I want to know what people are thinking when they run red lights, because that's going to ruin your day and your life if you kill somebody.
I mean, it's possible he didn't notice at all.
Yeah.
And I said, I think there's just a lot of people who don't think. Like, consequences aren't a thing for them. They just don't think. So you could ask him, what were you thinking? What did you think would happen if you hit this guy? And my guess would be he was not thinking. He just doesn't care. It's like the other day I was driving home from the studio, a row of red lights, like a Christmas wreath down Tucker. Everything was red. And I just watched some car deliberately just blow through all of them, knowing, well, no one else wants to get hit. So if I run all these red lights, people are going to slow down because they don't want to hit me. He didn't care. He was the most important thing in that moment. So he got to drive through all the red lights. Yeah. I bet there's something like that with the guy that was driving through the red light. Either he was distracted by his phone, very much could be, or he's the most important thing in the world and you'll get out of the way because you don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
Amy, Napoleon Dynamite Live is coming up October 9th at the Factory. It is a cult classic. It is a movie that I have seen at least a couple dozen times, and I believe many of our listeners probably the same thing. Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite, actor named Efren Ramirez, will be on the show next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country.
For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob!
Start your day refreshed with a delicious breakfast sandwich deal from Quick Trip. Choose from classics like the sausage, egg, and cheese croissant, the ham, egg, and cheese biscuit, or the melty bacon, egg, and cheese grilled cheese. And get ready to really wake up because it comes with
any small Red Bull of your choice, all for $5. Woo! Let's go!
That's any breakfast sandwich.
Plus a Red Bull for just $5. Yeah!
QT.
More than a gas station.
Currently, it is 71 degrees. The high today, 79. It will be delightful with plenty of sunshine, clear to partly cloudy and cool with the temperature record-breaking low of 50 degrees. Weather sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Jerry Kelly can install a new AC tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, even if we call it 8 tonight.
Wow, that's fast.
They're fast and they're good.
Mathematically, that actually equals got it going on.
Tomorrow.
JerryKelly.com. Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank and Building Community. We honor the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum for using the history and lessons of the Holocaust to reject hatred, promote understanding, and inspire change. Visitors to the museum Museum are empowered to translate the history of the Holocaust into meaningful action to make our community stronger. Visit the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum in person and online at stlholocaustmuseum.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey. Building community is creating bridges that bring people together. A visit to the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum reminds us that by rejecting hatred and embracing understanding, everyone feels safe, valued, and connected. A community where everyone thrives is what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, is that a new kid or something? Napoleon, this is Pedro. Would you mind showing him where his locker is? Sure. Come on.
Coming up October 9th at the factory here in St. Louis is Napoleon Dynamite Live. And we are excited to have that show coming into town. And part of the show is our next guest. He played Pedro in the movie Napoleon Dynamite. It is Efren Ramirez, who is with us on the Chris and Amy show on 104.1 FM. Efren, it is great to talk to you. How are you?
Good morning or good afternoon, Earthlings.
So tell us about this show that's happening. So obviously it's based on the film. So what happens during this show?
Well, as Pedro would say, I don't have much to say, but I guess I'm gonna have to explain the whole show to you guys or something.
Yes, you do, and you have just like that.
Well, there's a lot that happens because it's a show where we screen the movie to all the fans, and then afterwards, Uncle Rico, Napoleon, and myself, Pedro, aka, we do a whole show where there's a time machine that's involved. There's a whole musical number. We reenact some of the scenes. There's a cake. There's a piñata. There's a tetherball. A whole living room setup. Lasers. It's funny because we're actors. So like once you put actors on a stage, all of a sudden you see like the Three Stooges. So the show actually started off like a Q&A with the moderator who would ask us questions about making the movie. But we kind of got rid of the moderator and we just took over ourselves, because when we noticed that the audience were dressing up as the characters, they were such diehard fans, and we thought, well, why don't we put the audience on stage and have them reenact some of the scenes? And it just became something else.
Oh, that's great.
So Napoleon Dynamite is a movie that families of all generations can come together and enjoy. So even after 20 years, it holds so strong. So it's a pretty wild show.
Do you have anybody wanting to reenact the famous like slapping the face scene when the doorbell rings?
Actually, yeah.
Do they do it?
I don't want to reveal what happened on stage, but there's some moments where I think I could say this. We would pick all the kids, about 10 kids to come up on stage, but normally it's like 30 kids who want to be a part of the Happy Hands Club. And so there you have John Hader as Napoleon, and all these kids dressed up as the characters of Napoleon Dynamite doing the Happy Hands Club. I'm like, wow, even they know the film.
So when you were everyone, when you were making this movie, I don't think there's any way you could have known that it was going to turn into what it did, because there wasn't a huge budget for it, but then it turned into one of the, yeah, like I mean that is so small compared to typical movies. Did you have any idea that it was going to become this?
Well, it's funny because it's like as an actor, you go to school and you're learning like Odette and Tennessee Williams, and you want to do Shakespeare. You want to be a serious actor. And at that time, I ended up booking 2 movies. I booked The Alamo, right, which is a big studio picture, and then I booked Napoleon Dynamite. And I remember thinking like, okay, now I got this lead role. I got to play this character. I hope I can do the best that I could, that I can in this, to play this role, right? To do this project. And so I remember my very first day working on the set, and I show up and I see John Heder as Napoleon, and he's like this big hair, his glasses. He's like, "Hey, are you Pedro?" And I'm like, wait a minute. I see Rex Kwon Do, Uncle Rico, and Kip. I'm thinking, what kind of movie is this? But we ourselves became really big fans of the film itself. Our favorite character is Kip, especially with all of his lines, as he says, "Your mom goes to college." Like, even to this day, I still don't know what that means.
Did you? It means nothing. It's so great. Did you know? Okay, I had read or heard that the scene where Uncle Rico is with Kip, and he's eating the steak on the front porch, and he's talking about the football and throwing it over the mountains and all that stuff, that he picked up the steak and he throws it. You're on the back of a bicycle with John Heder, who's Napoleon Dynamite, and he throws the steak and it hits him in the face. And I've read that you were about to lose it, because I don't know if you didn't expect that to happen, but you got on the bike and then just rode away, and you weren't supposed to do that. Is that right?
I mean, look, I tried to be very professional, and I tried to stay in character, but it's like, I remember they're like, all right, I think Uncle Rico's getting a bigger piece of meat. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, wait, is he really going to throw the steak? And because I remember he kept on missing him, hitting him on the knee, the shoulder, and and Napoleon John was like, just hit me in the face, coach. And Uncle Rico's like, all right. I'm thinking, wait a minute, are they really going to do this? And when he smacked him so hard in the face, having to see his glasses fly, I'm like, so without, because I was going to break out with the laughter, and I thought like, just get out. So
you got on the bike and rode away.
You were like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, so that was all ad-libbed, the I gotta go.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Well, and also in the movie, you shaved your head, which you really did do. So is there pressure when you have one take because you're shaving your head?
Well, I mean, the idea for that scene is I really try to give myself a mohawk like Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver, but the camera kept on rolling, and I thought, wow. I mean, how much footage do you need of me shaving my head? So, and then when I was done, I had like little wisps of hair sticking out of my head. And the funny thing is that when I came back to Los Angeles, I saw my agents, and they were surprised that I shaved my head. I was surprised that they hadn't read the script.
They didn't tell you ahead of time?
No, I'm like, hey, didn't you guys read it? This is what I do. Because they're all in shock. And like, well, I guess I could do maybe a different role now.
I've heard that, from some actors who have had a role that sort of defined them, and everybody knows them by, everybody knows you as Pedro, that they can resent it in a way because they want to be known as I can do all these other things. I can play this role, or I can play that role. I don't want to be just pigeonholed into this. It seems to me like you really appreciate that you had that role, and that you don't have that sort of resentful feeling about it.
Well, a few things happened. The first part is the fact that for so many years, I was studying acting, and I thought like, Well, I hope I can convince people of me playing a character. And Pedro is a character who leads with hope. The great thing about Napoleon Dynamite is that something positive happens to every single character just because they give themselves over to their friends. It's about friendship. It's about a sense of belonging. It's about helping somebody else out, and in the industry itself, right? I could play a character like Pedro and surprise the audience to lead with something with love, with hope, with some kind of sense of community. As an actor, I could play different characters. That's why I did that. Then I did a film called Crank. Then I did a film called Employee of the Month. The idea is if I have to audition, let me show the studios that I can act, that I can play different characters. If I get 2 movies a year, that's good enough. So I could tell and share these wonderful stories so that people could be entertained and learn something.
You mentioned the characters and how people are rooting for them, and they're all so distinct. How much of Pedro's character was written into the script, and how much did you create?
I would say I'm a big fan of Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton, right? So, and the director, Jared Hess, the same director who did Minecraft, was very specific on what he was looking for. So I remember him having to tell me, because he had done a short film, and in that short film, he had 2 characters, and he sat with me and we saw the short film, and he said, I want you to create these 2 characters and make them into one. And I thought, like, sure, what does that mean? So I had to really trust who Pedro was. When I felt the tone of the film itself, I thought, well, maybe if I put maybe Charlie Chaplin, right? His humility and his honesty, Buster Keaton. And I was dating a girl at the time, and she had a dog that had been hit by several cars.
Whoa.
It was very slow. And I thought, maybe I could do that. And it worked.
We're talking
Were the cars sequential, or was it like 5 different incidents?
Well, no, she lived right off a major street.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
The poor dog looked like a poor mop,
Poor pup.
Yeah, and I thought maybe I could play Peter like that.
What is your other than, I don't know if maybe it was the Uncle Rico steak scene, the steak to Napoleon's face. What was your favorite scene to film in that whole thing?
I think it wasn't a scene that I filmed, that I shot, but it's the scene where you get to see the family, which Uncle Rico, Kip, and Napoleon. It's the time machine scene, because if you notice in the film, Napoleon is getting shocked, but you cut back to Kip, and Kip really likes the fact that he's getting hurt. I'm like, what kind of family is this? It's so sinister. And the fact that it's based off of true events, because the director's little brother ordered a time machine online thinking that he could go back in time. Like, who does that?
That's so good. A texter, a guy, somebody listening to the show says, or he wants to know if you still take your bike over some sweet jumps.
As Pedro would say, yes, but I think Napoleon is using my bike for special skills or something.
That's so good.
That is really, really good. How long have you guys been touring now with this specific show, Napoleon Dynamite Live?
It's been, I think, a little over 4 years now.
Wow.
And we've been to like Alaska, Hawaii, New York, Chicago, Miami, California. Like we've been to so many different places. And to me, I always get surprised at the sold out shows where people are dressed up as either the llama. There was a time
Tina? People are dressing up as Tina?
People dress up as Tina. There was a family of 8, and everybody was dressed up as Rex Kwon Do, even the little kid. And it was like, buddy, it's insane. Like, really? does he even know what this film is? so it's just so surprising to see that to this day, even after 20 years, how strong the movie holds, because there are no special effects. All we have is each other, and it's a sense of people just trying to figure life out.
Well, and you think the movie came out just over 20 years ago now, which means the kids who saw it back when it came out in 2004 or however old they were, teenagers, college, now they've got kids. So Napoleon Dynamite's like being passed down from generation to generation. That's how the little kids are finding out about it.
Yeah, and that's pretty sweet.
I want you to know that I saw Napoleon Dynamite in the theater. I did not expect it to be as crowded as it was. I was in the very first row, and so I had to look straight up, but I enjoyed it. And I had, as soon as I saw the movie, I said, I want a Vote for Pedro shirt. And I went and got one thinking, this is going to be really clever. And then everybody had one. Everybody got a Vote for Pedro shirt. Do you still have that?
I'm gonna have to admit it. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I even got a Napoleon Dynamite doll, and I mean, there's. I mean, I'm a big fan myself, but I told myself that one day when I do have children, I'm gonna pass on all this Napoleon Dynamite stuff and say, "Yeah, that's your dad."
That's so great. We're really looking forward to having you in town. Again, the show is Napoleon Dynamite Live. It's October 9th at the Factory. You can get tickets by going to thefactorystl.com. It was really fun to talk to you, Efren. Thank you for visiting with us. And I know that I speak for a lot of people who have seen this movie and have probably seen it dozens of times. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, you guys. And I look forward to seeing you all of you guys.
You're welcome to come into the studio when you're in town. It's a Thursday show, October 9th. Stop on by if you have time.
Oh, that would be cool. I get to see you guys. And maybe perhaps I'll build you a cake or something.
Yeah. Bring me some tots.
Oh.
Thank you, Efren. It's awesome to talk to you.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Efren Ramirez.
awesome.
That is Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. That's awesome. Tickets you can go to Ticketmaster.com or thefactorystl.com. There are also VIP ticket experiences available. So we recommend going to the show. Napoleon Dynamite Live, October 9th at the Factory.
Our illustrious producer, Matt Pajeski, does a very fine Napoleon Dynamite. Well, it's the
He has the exact
costume.
same haircut.
He's got the haircut and the glasses, and he's wearing a Vote for Pedro shirt. If this is for public consumption, you should post
I
this.
think it was for the office Halloween party a couple years ago. Yeah.
This is good.
I'm looking at the photo.
Yeah.
Oh
You-
my God.
You thought it was
Pajeski.
You thought it
have
was
got-
John Heater?
You have to tweet this.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
oh my God.
I don't know if I should be flattered by how much I look like him or
Probably not.
insulted.
I honestly thought it was like John Heater dressed up for the current show
That's
or
what
something.
you
Like that was
have
so
to.
weird. Wow.
It's going out now.
Actually, you should go to this show. They might bring you up on stage.
They would Matt,
You have to go.
You have to go.
You have to go.
You have
Okay.
to go as Napoleon Dynamite.
I will.
At Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter, at Chris Amy KMOX on Instagram. To see Matt as Napoleon Dynamite, you won't be able to tell the
Buddy,
difference.
that's ridiculous.
I will go if you guys dress up as Rex Kwon Do.
I'd go as
and
Rex.
Uncle Rico.
Oh, I love Uncle Rico.
We should all go,
I am all right. Let's do it. It's done.
but only if Matt dresses up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Done. That's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji. 314-436-7900. Join us on KMOX.
Now through September 1st, the Labor Day sale is going on at Zero Res. 3 rooms for $119, plus a free hallway and $75 off your air ducts. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros, just $10 for students. lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Hello, fellow Missourians. This is your Congressman Bob Onder. My top priority is serving you. Whether you need help with a VA claim, Social Security, Medicare, or any other federal issue, my team and I are here to cut through the red tape and give you answers. In the last 6 months alone, we have returned over $1 million to taxpayers. Call my office or visit my website, onder.house.gov, to learn more. Missouri is my home, and I'm honored to serve you in D.C.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at stlouisunionstation.com. That's stlouisunionstation.com.
Online security is a must, and millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer and more private online. And you can do that too. Get NordVPN with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic from data snoopers and internet service providers, while NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro will reduce risk of phishing and alert you about the fake online shops and known scams. And that's not all. If your email address is leaked to the dark web, you will get an instant notification from the Dark Web Monitor and act accordingly. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
If you're watching on the stream, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, at Chris Amy KMOX, you can vote in our Twitter poll, by the way. Is Bruce Springsteen overrated? Also, you can see Matt Pajeski, our producer, dressed as Napoleon Dynamite.
He looks
and that is
outstanding.
He looks exactly
it's
like him.
It's an extraordinary likeness between Matt Pajeski and
it's
Napoleon Dynamite.
She's right. It is extraordinary.
Now, if you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, I'm devastated the Chris and Amy show is over.
Yeah.
And you're sad.
Tell him,
and
Amy.
You're hungry.
Tell
You're
him,
never
Amy.
going to believe it, but we're going to be at Session Taco Central West End location, recently remodeled, renovated, and reopened after their fire. brand new Session Taco Central West End. We will be there 12:30 to 1:30 today. So in 34 minutes, we'll be there. And we will be, we'll be the messengers for Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical and Plumbing, who are engaging in 100 acts of kindness, committing 100 acts of kindness. Jerry Kelly is. So we're the messengers, and they gave us money to buy tacos.
Yep.
$15 per person while money lasts.
So, I mean, it's possible you show up and we're out of cash, so you might want to get there quickly. Okay,
Yeah.
That's the deal. Session Taco Central West End. We will be there very, very soon. So, starting at 12:30 to 1:30. That's your
Tacos
window.
on Jerry Kelly, baby.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you then. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, go back and listen to it, and we'll be back tomorrow with you at 9 o'clock. Don't forget the Gas House Gang, Tom Ackerman, Bernie Miklasz, Oliver Marmol on the show next on KMOX.
You get the haboob in your cracks?
I did not get into my cracks.